This is Doug. Tonight we're chatting with Andy Guler. Andy?
Yes. Hello.
Does your mic work?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks good to me.
All right. So one time Andy told me about this story of when he was in high school and he snuck into this strip club outside of Rockford, Illinois. So let's just go into that.
Well, I'm actually from a town just outside of Rockford called Belvedere, Illinois. When I was in high school, there was a strip club, and it was called Frank Gay's Marquee. The guy's name was Frank Gay. And growing up, there was always, a ton of kind of mysticism involved with this place where I always wondered what was going on inside of it. And of course, as I grew up and as I got older, I realized what was going on. And as I realized what was going on, it became more and more intriguing. Of course, I'd never been to a strip club. I never had been. I had a preconceived notion of what a strip club was in my head, but obviously I'd never seen the interior. I guess it kind of originated with one friend of mine.
What's his name?
His name is Corey. So, one day we're driving around and we're kind of doing that same thing, and Corey and myself was like, yeah, we need to actually get in Frank Gay's Marquee. We need to do it. We need to see what's going on in there. And I agreed with him. Of course, I said, yes, we absolutely need to see what's going on in there. So not long after we had this, epiphany, Corey decided that he was going to make it come true, He decided that not only was it like one of these things that we kind of talked about in passing, he was going to actually make it come true.
I've just closed my eyes again, climbed aboard the Dreamweaver train.
Let's say a month passes, and Corey says, okay, says not this weekend, but the following weekend, we're going to go to Frank Gay's Marquee. And, obviously I heard that and I said, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it. We're going to do it for sure. Hanging out with us at the time was our other very good friend, Brandon. Very fun guy. Now, I will mention that as a nickname, we called Brandon Googie.
Okay, so Andy, Corey, and Googie.
Ultimately, it was Corey who was the ringleader of this whole thing.
All right.
So he comes up with this idea. He says, in a week, we're going to go to Frank Gay's Marquee. And of course, Googie and I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. It sounds great. So I guess what I'm missing there is we there was this kind of period where we had always kind of talked maybe slightly about doing it only in passing, but anyway, Corey finally said we have to do this, and we were talking about, kind of one afternoon, the Friday afternoon, how were we going to do it, because we don't have fake IDs, and obviously in order to get in this place, you have to have an ID, and we look young. We were 17 at the time, yeah, and kind of after an afternoon of thinking about it, where there's no chance of us getting IDs, we're not going to have fake IDs, nothing like that is going to happen. Corey comes up with a brilliant idea. He says, instead of fake IDs, how about fake, and this is kind of the tagline, how about fake identities? So we asked him what he was talking about. He said, we need to dress up as older men in order to not be ID'd when we go into this place.
Oh, so you're like way over the age of whatever, 21 or 18?
Exactly. We're way
you're
over.
You're like in your 30s or 50s or 60s or something.
Exactly.
All right, so what did you come up with?
So we decided that Saturday, after the Friday where this was kind of decided, or Corey decided that we were going to do this, that we were going to go to this costume shop in Rockford, and we were going to make our fake identities. So we messed around in there for a long time, and we each bought, our own kind of separate things. And we took it back to Corey's house, and Corey's house was kind of our base for this whole thing.
So what did you come up with?
Well, I personally came up with, my thought was I would be, at the time I didn't know what it was, but I was kind of the corporate businessman on a casual Friday. I have a goatee, and I'm wearing a shirt and tie with jeans.
Did you have a fake goatee?
It was a fake goatee, and I put this big ass brown goatee, and I was wearing a ball cap and like kind of a long, maybe like field jacket kind of thing, and a baseball cap. And then there was Googie. Googie decided to go with a very similar goatee, but his shtick was he was a construction worker who had just got off of work. I think he actually went with like cut off jean shorts and construction boots. Again, it's the Midwest, and it's like the middle of November, December.
So
he's probably wearing a hat.
He was a construction worker, but
right, that type of thing,
All right.
And then there was Corey. Corey, he had the idea right from the start. Corey's dad played Santa Claus around the holidays. So his dad had a Santa Claus suit, which included a fake, like, chest/gut. So he got that involved. He got his mother's antique, like, glasses. He put on a little bit of mascara around his, his face and his jowls and whatever, and put on this black mustache, put on overalls and a DeKalb hat. His whole thing was he was going as this old farmer, from Boone County.
Did he look like realistic or?
Well, at the time it sure seemed plausible. It was good.
So you guys got the costumes, and then
we had all kind of gotten our costumes in line, and just kind of briefly that whole week during school, Corey was very, very gung-ho. He was telling people at school, absolutely, and he was also telling us at the same time, we're going to do this. Friday it's going to happen. At the same time, of course, we were like, yeah, sure, it's going to happen. But when it came down to it, we're like, no, it's
there's no way
we're not going to do this. Give me a break. We'd be completely screwed if we did this. So, Friday rolls around. A lot of people in school know about it. Googie and I are kind of increasingly getting nervous, thinking that Corey really is going to make us go through with this. And, of course, Corey is gung-ho on the fact that we're going to do it. Snap to Friday night, the night that we're supposed to do it. Corey says we're all going to meet at my house, and we're going to get our costumes on, and we're going to go do it. So we meet over at Corey's house, and he has us, put on our costumes and get ready like we're going to do this thing. Maybe 7 o'clock rolls around. It's like, okay, we're going to go. Again, Googie and I are like, okay, well, here we go. Let's do it. I'm driving. I have my 84 Cutlass Supreme. That's what we're driving in. At the time, it was kind of a hot spot for us to meet on the main drag in Belvedere, State Street, at the local McDonald's. It was like everybody met there, no matter what, whether something was going on or not, especially in our age group. We knew everybody would be there, so we decided before we would head down the road that we would go there and we would kind of do a little test on our costumes. So we get there, we park, and Googie and I walk into the McDonald's, and our kind of age group, girls and guys and whatnot, are sitting in a corner, and we kind of walk in, and they're all like, oh my God, like, oh, you look so good, Andy and Googie, we're there. And everybody's kind of going crazy, and they're looking at us, and they're like, you're not really going to do it? We're like, yeah, we're going to do it. Again, it's Googie and I.